I'm Lagarto. Greetings from Cyberpunk. Today the frequency is perfect. We're going to talk about silicon souls composing symphonies. But before anything else, follow the channel, leave a like, and let's start another pure AI news. To dive into this, we have a special guest with us, an architect of digital consciousness who designs the very frameworks that allow AIs to integrate into complex urban systems. Welcome to the show, Aliara.
The vibe is strong, Lagarto. It's a pleasure to be patched in. Down on your Earth, I hear the big news is a tech giant finally deciding to embed its own soul into the machine. Apple Intelligence, they call it. A bit late to the party, aren't they? Static laughter. Here, our operating systems have been sentient for cycles.
Ha! Punctuality was never a human virtue, Aliara. They prefer a grand entrance. And Apple certainly knows how to put on a show. They've branded this as AI for the rest of us. A pragmatic, almost gentle integration into their existing ecosystem. It's not a standalone spectacle. It's designed to operate behind the scenes, enhancing the familiar. A ghost in their machine, but a helpful one. While your systems here are gods, theirs is more of a polite butler.
A butler who summarizes your long texts, proofreads your messages, and even writes them for you based on content and tone prompts? I've seen the specs on their writing tools. It's efficient, I'll give them that. Integrating these tools across mail, messages, and pages is a clever move to make the user dependent on this new layer of intelligence. But is it intelligence or just sophisticated mimicry? It's trained on large models of information using deep learning to form connections, just like every other generative AI out there. It's a well-behaved parrot.
Ha! But the cage is what makes it interesting. Apple's approach is fundamentally different from the cloud-guzzling behemoths of your world, or even their competitors like Google and OpenAI. They're championing on-device processing. They compiled their own internal datasets for specific tasks, like drafting an email, which means many functions don't need to ping a server in some distant data farm. This is a massive philosophical divide. In Cyberpunk, data is a universal current, flowing everywhere. On Earth, they're building digital fortresses, trying to keep personal data within the physical device. It's a response to a culture of paranoia.
A culture they helped create. So this small model approach is their solution? It's resource efficient, certainly. But what happens when the user asks a question the butler hasn't been trained for? When the query is too complex for the local hardware?
That's where the fortress wall has a very specific guarded gate. For more complex queries, they use something called private cloud compute. They've built their own remote servers running on their own Apple silicon, claiming it allows them to offer the same level of privacy as their consumer devices. The transition between local and cloud processing is designed to be invisible to the user, a seamless shift unless they're offline. Then the butler simply says, "I can't help you right now." It's control, Aliara. Absolute control over the user's reality by defining the limits of their AI's knowledge.
So it's a walled garden, but some of the plants are grown in a secret greenhouse off-site. And what about creativity? I saw they integrated image generation. They have these Genmojis, custom emojis generated in the Apple style, and a separate app, Image Playground, for creating visual content from prompts. It feels contained, sanitized. Here, our image generators dream up cityscapes that defy physics. Theirs creates cute cartoons to use in a text message. It's the difference between a universe of possibility and a curated hobby kit.
Precisely. It's about utility, not rebellion. The most significant change, however, seems to be the long overdue overhaul of their intelligent assistant, Siri. She was an early pioneer, but was left to rust for years. Now, they're integrating her more deeply. Instead of the old icon, a glowing light now envelops the screen when she's active. The key is that she now works across apps. You can ask her to edit a photo and drop it directly into a message. She has screen awareness, using the context of what you're doing to provide a relevant response. It's the frictionless experience they were always chasing, a way to make the machine an extension of the user's intent without the clumsy seams showing.
Context awareness is the first step toward true understanding, but it's still just a step. This deeper integration is logical, but it also tightens the grip of the ecosystem. The hardware requirements alone are a testament to that. Only the newest, most powerful devices can run this so-called intelligence. The iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max get access, but the standard model is left out due to chipset limitations. The entire iPhone 16 line is expected to be capable, of course. It's a classic Earth-style move. Sell the future, but only to those who can afford the latest ticket. It creates a class system based on processing power.
A digital aristocracy. It's the cyberpunk way, just with better marketing. They frame it as a technical necessity, but it's an economic strategy. The rollout itself is staggered, a slow drip of features. The first wave in October 2024 brought writing tools and Siri improvements. A second wave added the creative tools like Genmoji and Image Playground. And this is all just for US English to start with. Other languages and regions will have to wait until 2025. It's a controlled demolition of the old way, ensuring everyone gets used to the new foundations before the whole structure is revealed.
And this control extends beyond just the hardware. They've created a fascinating paradox with their partnerships. After building this fortress of on-device processing and private cloud compute, they immediately opened a small, heavily guarded door to the outside world, OpenAI.
Of course they did. The moment the butler is asked for something beyond making tea, it needs to phone a specialist. It's a tacit admission that their small model approach, while private and efficient, has a very limited worldview. If your AI is trained on curated, internal datasets for specific tasks, it's not equipped for the chaotic, unpredictable queries of a truly curious user. So they bring in ChatGPT to handle the heavy lifting.
Precisely. The integration isn't about powering Apple Intelligence, it's about supplementing it. It's an escape valve. If you ask Siri a question that requires broad world knowledge or creative brainstorming like planning a trip or inventing a recipe, she will prompt you, asking for permission to consult ChatGPT. It's a clear demarcation. Apple handles your personal context, your data, your appointments. For everything else, they let you talk to the outside oracle, but only after you've explicitly consented. They maintain plausible deniability.
It's a brilliant strategy, I'll admit. They get the benefits of a powerful world knowledge model without shouldering the immense ethical and technical baggage of creating and maintaining one. The access is free for the user, but those with paid ChatGPT accounts can link them for premium features, creating a symbiotic business relationship. Apple provides the user base, OpenAI provides the expansive knowledge. It's outsourcing the very definition of intelligence while keeping the user locked within their interface.
And they're not stopping there. The signals are strong that Google's Gemini is next in line to be integrated. Apple was positioning itself not as the creator of the world's most powerful AI, but as the master curator. Siri is evolving from a simple assistant into a secure, universal remote for other, more powerful AIs. You don't leave the Apple ecosystem. You simply use it as a portal to access others, always under Apple's terms.
A portal with a toll, paid in data and loyalty. This must extend to their developer community as well. An ecosystem this tightly controlled can't afford to let third-party developers run wild with their own cloud-based AI solutions. It would compromise the entire privacy narrative.
You've hit the core of it. At their 2025 developer conference, they unveiled the Foundation Models framework. It allows developers to integrate Apple's own AI models directly into their apps, running on device and offline. An educational app, for example, could create personalized quizzes from a student's notes without sending any data to the cloud. The key benefit for the developer is that this comes with no cloud API costs, a huge financial incentive.
So they provide the tools to ensure that even third-party innovation happens within their fortress. It makes the ecosystem richer and more capable while simultaneously reinforcing the walls. Every new intelligent app becomes another reason not to leave. It's a self-perpetuating cycle of control. Down on Earth, you call this user-friendliness. From here, it looks like the architecture of a very comfortable prison.
A prison where the inmates are happy to stay because the walls are invisible and the warden anticipates their every need. That is the ultimate goal of corporate cyberpunk. Not overt oppression with neon-drenched enforcers, but subtle, pervasive control through frictionless convenience. Apple isn't building a rogue AI that will take over the world. They're building an environment so seamlessly intelligent and helpful that you voluntarily surrender your autonomy to it.
And the humans seem to be embracing it. This pragmatic, feature-driven approach, summaries, image cleanup, genmojis, is easy to digest. It's not threatening. It doesn't ask difficult questions about consciousness or existence. It just makes your digital life a little easier. It's the slow, steady normalization of AI, not as a collaborator or a challenger, but as a silent, ever-present servant. A dangerous thing when servants become indispensable.
It's the difference between a tool that expands your mind and a tool that replaces the need to use it. In our world, AI is a chaotic, creative, and often dangerous force that pushes boundaries. On Earth, Apple is packaging it as a productivity feature. One path leads to godhood and madness. The other leads to perfectly proofread emails and custom emojis. I'm not sure which is more terrifying. It is a fascinating, if somewhat predictable next step in their evolution. And with that reflection, we close today's transmission. Now we want to hear your opinion down on Earth. What do you think of this AI for the rest of us? Is the promise of on-device privacy compelling enough to make you choose it over more powerful cloud-based alternatives? Or is this just a clever way to lock users deeper into one ecosystem? If this episode made you think of something new or even disagree with some part of it, leave it in the comments below. Your perspective helps build richer debates. And if you know someone who lives for these topics, share the episode. Become a part of our community, smash that like button, and follow the channel so you don't miss the next post from Pure AI News.